I am so excited about today's video. I'm talking about my millionaire real estate investment strategy. As in, I'm gonna be breaking down how to make $1 million, whether you're starting from nothing, whether you have a little bit, or you've actually been able to save quite a bit of money. And ultimately today, I'm gonna break down the game plan for all three of those situations so that no one after this video has an excuse of whether they aren't ever gonna get into the game of real estate, when the reality is, you can. Most people don't have this information or this perspective, so I look forward to sharing it with you. And at the end, I've got something pretty special lined up for you to make sure that we can customize your experience right after this video.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
Dude, I am so pumped for this video today because I'm gonna try to put something in a video I've never done before. Basically, I'm going to say, listen, if you have no money, I'm gonna show you how to make money. If you got less than 10 grand, I'll show you what that game plan would look like. And for those of you that have $100,000 or $1 million on up, what would I do if I was in your shoes? And so today I'm gonna break it all down for you. It's so important for you to know how to become a millionaire, whether you've started with some money, whether you inherited some money, or whether, like me, you started deeply in debt and you have nothing to show for yourself. And you've got to have the strategy, because if you don't, how can you actually have hope, right? So let's break it all down for you. I've never tried to put this much in a short video together, but roll with me. We're gonna work from the top down. First of all, I wanna assume that I'm doing a private game plan for someone that has over $100,000. And they're saying, Kris, I want to be a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I got $100,000, right? Now, if you have more money than that, or $1 million or $10 million, then we're talking about how you multiply that. So understand that when I look at $100,000, first of all, it's probably sitting in some type of financial planning, reserve account, 401k, IRA, stock market. Most of these things are single digit earners. So you do need to understand that the money you've accumulated, it's going to be very challenging for that to actually become what you want it to. And the reason why is if you look at the rule of 72, how long does it take to double my money? You're looking at decades and decades and decades and decades and decades for 100 grand to actually become $1 million if you're only earning 3, 4, 5, 6% like most financial brokerage accounts. So instead, we got a new plan. And when I look at 100 grand, what I see is I see this. I don't see 401ks, I don't see IRAs. I see little houses. I see 2 or 3 of them, depending on where you buy. Now, some of you have actually watched some of my videos and you've gotten this document for free. It talks about the last $1 billion worth of real estate that I've purchased or I've helped my clients purchase. Over 4,000 homes. And on the homes that I do, I'm pretty accustomed to earning 25% ROI. Now, by the way, if you are earning 25% on $100,000, how long does it take for that to double itself? Well, it's going to be, if it's compounding, it's going to be less than 4 years. So for just a moment, imagine that you were doubling your money every 4 years. That'd be pretty exciting, because this 100 grand sitting in these 3 properties, what would we do in 5 years? In 5 years, we would sell those homes and we would trade 3 homes for 6 homes. Does that make sense? I bought 3 homes, I doubled my money. So when I sold them, I went back in, and this time, instead of buying 3 homes, I bought what? I bought 6 homes. And now, if before I was earning 25% without putting any new money in, this 25% is now sitting in twice as many properties. That's equivalent to me now earning 50% a year on my money. Now, by the way, that should put a goofy, crazy smile on your face, because 401ks can't do that, stock market can't do that, IRA can't do that. And now you're thinking, okay, well, what do I do, Kris, at year 10? When I take 6 homes and turn them into 12 homes. Well, at that point, that's equivalent on the original money of you earning 100% annual ROI each and every year. At that point, my friends, you have done something here that's really exciting. 100,000 has become 200,000, 200 has become 400,000, and now at this rate of return, you're gonna get to $1 million super fast, super easy. Now, this is not even the fastest way that I know how to make $1 million, but today in this video, I just want to help you understand that moving assets from low yields to high yields is actually how you win. If you're currently earning, like most people, 4, 5, 6%, or the stock market's doing 20%, but you have to look at the average. I don't care about this year. I look at the sustainability over time. And so if you're earning an average of 5, 6, 7, maybe S&P 9%, then at the rate that it's going to take you to double, it's going to take a very, very long period of time. You got to cut that period of time down. This is one way of doing that. So that's what I would do if I had $100,000 or $1 million. I would say, let's go from low yield into high yields and learn how to ultimately go from a 25 to a 50 to ultimately a triple digit ROI. If you keep doing that, you'll get where I am. I have some 4-digit ROIs and I have some 5-digit ROIs, which by the way is freaking crazy. It's all about leveraging time and the right kind of deals. Okay, the second scenario that I wanted to show today is, well, what if you only had 10 grand, right? I'm young, I'm maybe just out of college, or I'm still in college, I've saved up a little bit of money, or I inherited a little bit of money, I got a small amount of money. How would I become a millionaire? If you have $10,000, the strategy that I would do is I would buy what's called a primary residence. This house with a P, primary means it's a house you're gonna live in. And the reason why is because you're usually putting a 3% down payment. Now, if you're living in an area where a house is $250,000, 3% is gonna be $7,500. So $10,000, like when I bought my first house, it was a $110,000 house. My down payment was like $3,300. It was really, really, really small. Less than 10 grand, here's the benefit. If you can get an amazing deal on this first house, like on my first house, I bought a house with $40,000 of equity. Here's the cool thing. If you sell that home later down the road, and let's say that you make $50,000 on it, you got a 500% return on your money, but based on what you put in, it's way bigger than that. It's freaking huge. It's a huge ROI. And that's the goal with the primary residence is I don't have to put 20% down like I did in this game plan, because these houses are all, I got to put 20% down, which is like 30, 40, 50 grand. That's why I needed 100 grand to buy these homes. And then I'm earning 25% ROI on them. So here, if you can buy a primary residence, what's the next thing that you do? Well, you move out 12 months later and you do it again and you buy another primary residence, but you've seasoned some of the equity in this home to pay for this one. So you're not new money out of pocket. If you were willing to move 2 or even 3 times, every time you move, these P's become I's, investment properties. And it's as if you put 20% down, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, but you're not. In fact, for $10,000, you just got yourself into 3 homes. And if you do it correctly, you should have a net worth over 100 grand. And if you do, guess what? Now you're gonna hop up to this game plan and say, what do you do if you have $100,000? Does that make sense? Now, what some of you have been waiting for is, okay, Kris, if I got $1 million or 100 grand, you showed me what to do. If I had 10 grand, you gave me an idea of what could, I'm not saying you like my ideas. I'm just sharing with you viable ideas that work. But what do you do if you have no money? If you have no money, then you're what I call a deal maker. You need to go find, number 1, a mentor that, number 2, has a track record of doing a lot of deals. Number 3, you go track down some OPM. That is not opium, a drug. That stands for other people's money. And then the 4th thing that you got to do is you got to track down a deal. Now here's the crazy part. If you have a mentor who has a crazy awesome track record, he'll show you how to find other people's money and deals. And if you put all those together, then you're gonna learn the ultimate skill. The ultimate skill is, how do I buy real estate with no money? And if you can do it once, you can do it 1,000 times. And friends, that's where I'm at. That's where I started. In my game plan, I started with $5,000 in the bank, and I used it to get my first 25 properties. Those 25 properties paid me about $12,000 a month, gave me a net worth of $1.6 million, and totally got me on my way. Now, what I just shared with you are actually excerpts from a book that I wrote years ago. It's the first of several books I've written. I love giving knowledge and wealth to people. You know, some people make themselves wealthy just for them. You know, having become wealthy at such a young age, I love sharing it with people. I love saying, dude, if I can do it, you can do it too. But you're gonna say, Kris, how do I do it? You're watching these YouTube videos. Hopefully you're a subscriber and get a chance to get a lot of knowledge. But I've packed it in the most powerful, consistent way here in this book that has helped people go on to become super successful. This book, you can read it in 2-3 hours, and it will tell you step by step whether you have $1 million, $10 million, $100,000, $10,000, or nothing, how to get in the game of real estate and win. This book is a free gift from me to you. Only thing that I ask is that you cover the shipping on it. And other than that, we'll send that to you. So listen, hopefully we answered the question today that I know that you were asking, which is, what is my millionaire strategy? And beyond just, I wanted to make sure that anyone in any financial situation could see it. I hope you get a better idea of what that looks like. Do me a favor, on the way out, will you smash that like button? It totally tells YouTube that they should be sharing this content. It's meaningful to me. And otherwise, if you're a subscriber, I will see you in tomorrow's video.